Guten Tag, everybody. Wie geht's? This is Dieter. So, today Dieter's going to talk about the importance of what he calls intelligent practice and practicing scales. Now, I'd be 100% honest with you here. I would be a much better player if I practiced my scales more often. That's my biggest mistake. And you have to memorize, and I never really did this. You have to memorize the patterns of the scales. And the best book for this I have found out of all the books, and I've looked at a lot of books, is Aaron Shearer's methods. It's classical method, but that doesn't matter. It's the guitar. The notes are the same as on an electric guitar. Da! So get his Aaron Shearer's Scale Pattern Studies for the Guitar, it's called. All his books are good. If it has Aaron Shearer on the name, you're guaranteed it's a good book. I don't give a fuck what it's about. It's good. His slur, development, reach, ornaments, guitar note speller. That's a $6 book. Probably 20 now. That's how I learned how to teach myself how to read music, and it worked. 3 months. Boom. Went through it twice. I can read music quite well, actually. And that's my biggest problem with practicing. I can read quite well, so I read it and then play it, but then I go on to the next thing, and what I should do is memorize that piece before I go on. And that's what I'm doing now, and I'm getting better. Because I haven't been playing for about 2 years. That's not an excuse, that's the truth. So I found I was getting frustrated again, remember some things, so I'm going back to my scales. So go to his book if you're a little more than an advanced beginner, and go to his second position scales. And they're all on the 5th string, the A string. So I'll show you the C scale. So it's... So you only want to stay in that position, so I'm not going higher up. So that, here it is again. So. So once you do that, do it slowly, and then you can build up the speed. Right? And if you get bored, then you have fun with it, so you go. Ah, mistake. So don't worry about the mistakes. Feel it out. So even if you can read music, once you've read it, then feel it out by ear, so you understand how the scale works. So. So, look, I don't care if I make mistakes, because I'm showing you I'm just relearning myself, right? This isn't a polished thing, so don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, I suggest that you stop at where you made the mistake, figure out why you did it. So, there we go, see? And then go over that a few more times. I think I've told you before about the rule of 6. If you can play it perfectly 6 times in a row without making a mistake, you have an 80% chance of remembering that. So then you go on, and don't worry about the speed. The speed comes, okay? Now my other suggestion, I don't like to make these too long. So my other suggestion, don't get into this pentatonic shit. Do the complete scales. I swear to God, you get the Aaron Shearer book, it will make you a much better player, no matter what kind of music you play. Don't go, oh, it's for classical guitar. That's actually, classical guitarists are better. They are better guitarists than a blues guitarist or whatever, because they can play anything, right? So, learn from the best people. and watch some really good classical guitarists. Watch some of their videos. You'll learn a lot more from them than this other stuff. It's classical music. It's complex. It uses the most classical pieces over grade 3, 4. I'm talking Royal Conservatory up here in Canada, which goes to grade 8. But most classical pieces, if you get those books that are grade 3, 4 and above, most of those pieces, you're using the entire fretboard of the guitar. So obviously, if you learn a couple of those pieces, and I will tell you from my own experience, I learned one difficult piece once, and then I could play 15 pieces. I learned them just like that. They were simpler, but I learned them just like that. So if you find a piece that you like, and spend the time, even if it's painful, to learn that, and you'll get much better. Listen, if you can play a complicated classical piece in any key, I guarantee you're not going to have trouble learning a blues song or anything else. You know, yeah, some of the techniques, picking techniques and stuff, that's different. Okay, but I'm saying if you just want to get better, and the Shearer books are good because they're well explained, and the exercises are intelligent. And that's the other thing I was going to say: intelligent practice. It is better to practice slowly and intelligently for half an hour than to spend 8 hours doing the wrong thing. Because the more you practice doing wrong things, the worse you get, because you're teaching bad habits, and the more you reinforce a bad habit, the harder it is to get rid of it. So that's my advice for today. Oh yeah, and the other thing is, so if you want to learn a song that's in E, before you learn that song, practice E scales, E major, E minor scales, and the relative scales. B minor, I think, is relative to E minor, off the top of my head, okay? That's what you do. Intelligent practice and scales, yeah. It will for sure make you a better guitar player, right? Which is what you want to be, I assume. Yeah. Wiedersehen.